Chosen one. The clock is ticking and the world feels heavy tonight. The air itself carries a tension you can't explain, like a silence before a storm. Something deep in your spirit is whispering that this moment is not ordinary. Midnight approaches, and with it comes a decision point that could shape the rest of your life. You've been waiting, searching, hesitating, and now the message is clear. God said you must act before midnight. Not tomorrow, not someday, tonight. This is urgent. This is the kind of moment where hesitation can cost you more than time. It can cost you alignment with the path laid out for you. Do not treat this lightly, for heaven itself bends near when you are at the edge of obedience. You're not here by accident. You've been guided to this exact moment because your spirit has been crying out for change, for breakthrough, for release. And now, heaven is answering you. Before we continue, pause and recognize the gravity of this call. This is your confirmation. I want you to step into it boldly. In the comments below, release your warmest wishes, the deepest prayers you've been holding back, and write the number 99. That's not random. It's a declaration that your wish is alive, sealed, and carried into the current of divine timing. Don't remain silent. Your silence has already cost you enough. If your spirit woke up while listening, don't scroll away. Like this video, subscribe now. You belong here. This is your place of alignment, and you cannot afford to walk past it. Write your wish, write 99, and let the universe respond. Do it now. Every second from now until midnight is heavy with meaning. The veil between what was and what will be is thin, trembling like a thread about to snap. You've asked for signs, and this is one. Midnight is not just the changing of a clock. It is the crossing of a threshold. At midnight, something seals. At midnight, doors either close or burst wide open. The choice you make determines whether you step into promise or linger in delay. God is not warning you to frighten you. He is warning you to position you. The message is not condemnation, but preparation. He sees what you cannot, and he knows what lies on the other side of hesitation. Look back at your life for a moment. How many times did you feel that inner nudge but ignored it? How many times did you think you had more time, only to watch the moment slip away like smoke in your hands? Midnight has always been symbolic. The end of one day, the beginning of another, the thin line between what has passed and what is about to unfold. Tonight carries that same weight, but heavier. This is not just about time on a clock. It is about obedience, alignment, and the sealing of destiny. Midnight marks the difference between the life you've been enduring and the life you've been promised. Do not think for one moment that your hesitation is small. Delay can feel comfortable, but it is deadly to destiny. When heaven speaks with urgency, delay becomes disobedience. Chosen one. The reason this feels intense is because it is intense. You've been prepared for this hour. Every struggle, every season of hiding, every unanswered prayer has brought you here. Midnight is the threshold, and you are being called to step across it. Act before midnight, not with fear, but with faith. Faith is action. Faith is not waiting for another sign. This message is the sign. The stirring in your chest is not coincidence. The restlessness you've felt today, the way your thoughts have been unsettled, the way small details have felt charged with meaning, that is God's way of pulling you into alignment. Midnight is the moment of testing, the place where your faith is proven, not by what you say, but by what you do. Do not let this moment pass. You cannot afford to treat this like another video, another message, another voice in the crowd. This is your midnight call, and it has found you. The night feels alive, chosen one. Shadows stretch longer, silence presses harder, and your heart beats with a rhythm that refuses to calm. It is no ordinary night. The closer you move toward midnight, the more the air thickens with unseen weight. You may not see it with your eyes, but your spirit feels it. Something is approaching, something waiting for your decision, and the heavens are watching closely to see if you will rise or shrink back. God said you must act before midnight, and time is burning quickly. This is the hour where destiny separates from delay. This is the hour when excuses lose their power. You cannot tell yourself that tomorrow will be easier. You cannot convince yourself that waiting one more day will bring more clarity. No, clarity comes in movement, and obedience creates the miracle. Your hesitation is the enemy's greatest weapon against you, because it convinces you that there is still time when in truth the window is closing. Midnight is the line drawn in sand and spirit, and the call has been sounded. The urgency you feel is not panic. It is heaven knocking on your soul. Think of the times you stood on the edge of decision, but chose safety. Remember the years wasted in comfort zones that produced nothing but regret. Comfort is a thief, and midnight is the thief catcher. It exposes whether you will cling to what is dying or step into what is alive. At midnight, chains either lock or break. At midnight, assignments either activate or wither. Do not underestimate how close you are to crossing into what you've been waiting for. The door is opening, but only for those who act. Every great turning point in history has been marked by urgency. When the waters rise, you don't wait to build the ark. You move. When the call comes, you don't pause to debate. You obey. The most dangerous lie whispered to chosen ones is that you still have time. No, chosen one. The truth is, you have now. You have this moment. You have these hours before midnight. Nothing else is promised. This is why your spirit won't let you rest, why your heart won't let you ignore this call. You are not being awakened for nothing. You are being awakened because everything is on the line. Let your mind replay the choices you've made. How many times did you surrender to fear when courage was being demanded? How many times did you let the opportunity slip while telling yourself later? Later has stolen too many of your blessings. Later has silenced too many of your dreams. Later has killed too many promises. Midnight is God's way of saying, later is over. Tonight is the only ground you can stand on, the only time that matters, the only call that requires your yes. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to act. And acting doesn't always mean moving mountains. Sometimes acting means making the choice in your heart, speaking the word aloud, declaring what you've been silent about, aligning your life with the whisper you've ignored. Heaven doesn't require theatrics. Heaven requires truth, obedience, and a willingness to respond. The urgency of midnight is not meant to crush you. It's meant to awaken you. It's meant to remind you that the God who has carried you this far will not abandon you on the edge of your promise. But he cannot move for you. You must act before midnight. The night grows heavier, chosen one, as if the sky itself is holding its breath. Every tick of the clock feels louder than the last, echoing in your chest like a drumbeat of destiny. Midnight is no longer a distant thought. It is a shadow moving closer, a reality pressing in, a threshold demanding to be faced. The question is not whether midnight is coming. The question is whether you will cross it with faith or collapse in fear. God said you must act before midnight, and these words are not suggestion. They are command. You cannot afford to stand still. In moments like these, stillness is not safety. It is surrender. And you are not called to surrender to fear, to hesitation, to the lie that whispers, "Not yet." You are called to stand, to move, to act with boldness, even when your knees are trembling. Midnight has no mercy for the unprepared. It does not wait for those who drag their feet. It seals, it cuts, it divides, and once it does, the chance is gone. Do not let yourself be counted among those who said, "I will decide tomorrow." Midnight closes doors that never open again. Think of all the prayers you've prayed in desperation. Think of the nights you wept silently, begging God to show you a way, to send a sign, to prove he has not forgotten you. And now the sign stands before you, blazing with clarity. Act before midnight. This is the answer to the prayers you thought went unheard. This is the confirmation you've begged for. Heaven is not silent. Heaven is urgent. You can feel it in your bones, in your breath, in the very air around you. Every fiber of your being is testifying that this moment is not ordinary. Chosen one. Destiny has a way of arriving disguised as decision. It rarely comes wrapped in ease or convenience. It arrives at midnight, pressing against your spirit, demanding that you choose now whether you will step forward or shrink back. This is why the path of the chosen is not crowded. It requires courage, and courage is rare. But courage is what midnight demands. If you can stand in this hour, you will see doors open that once felt impossible. If you can act before midnight, you will awaken to a dawn that was reserved only for those who trusted enough to move. You have carried too much to falter now. The weight you've endured, the seasons of silence, the betrayal, the loneliness. It was never pointless. It was all preparation for this midnight threshold. The pressure you feel is not punishment. It is proof that the heavens recognized your significance. The enemy would not fight you so hard if your decision did not matter. Midnight is where the battle is fiercest, because midnight is where the breakthrough is sealed. This is why the warfare around you feels heavier than ever. It is not because you are weak. It is because you are moments away from stepping into what you were made for. Let your soul take this in. You have been chosen to act when others freeze. You have been marked to move when others hesitate. You have been called to rise when others fall. Midnight will test you, but it will not defeat you, unless you choose inaction. Your power is not in waiting for more signs, more voices, more validation. Your power is in obedience. Your power is in responding now, while the window is still open. God is not testing your ability to understand. He is testing your willingness to trust. Act before midnight, and heaven itself will move on your behalf. The hours are collapsing quickly now, chosen one. The night does not slow down. It races toward midnight with unstoppable force. Every moment that passes is a reminder that time does not wait for hesitation. You can feel it, the pressure in your chest, the restlessness in your mind, the electricity in the air. This is not just another evening drifting into tomorrow. This is the battlefield of destiny, and you are standing in the center of it. God has spoken clearly. You must act before midnight. Delay is no longer an option. This is the kind of night that history remembers. These are the hours that define the course of your life. People look back at their turning points and often realize they were hidden in moments like this. Quiet yet thunderous, personal yet cosmic, ordinary yet eternal. Midnight has always been sacred, always been dangerous, always been decisive. It is the hour of crossing over, the hour of sealing, the hour where faith becomes visible. Do not think lightly of this. Your obedience now will echo into your future in ways you cannot yet imagine. The enemy knows this too. That's why distractions are louder right now. That's why fear whispers sharper than ever. That's why everything in your mind is trying to tell you to wait, to doubt, to hesitate. It's because the enemy cannot stop what God has prepared, but he can try to make you miss it by standing still. Midnight is not waiting for your fear to calm. Midnight is waiting for your courage to rise. If you stay paralyzed, the seal will close, and you will carry the weight of regret into the dawn. But if you act, if you dare to obey, you will wake up in a reality that has been waiting for you all along. Look at your journey until now. How many storms have you endured? How many times did you think it was over, only to find yourself still standing? That was not by accident. That was preservation. You were kept alive for this hour because your assignment is bigger than you've understood. Midnight is not about punishment. It is about release. It is about the moment when everything hidden begins to shift, when chains snap, when burdens lift. You did not survive everything you've been through just to let this moment pass by. Your scars are proof of your preparation. Your survival is evidence that you are chosen, chosen one. This is why God's voice feels urgent. It is because your destiny is urgent. You cannot let comfort, fear, or distraction convince you otherwise. There is too much at stake. Midnight is the gate to your next season. At the stroke of 12, you will either be locked out or welcomed in. Heaven is asking you for one thing: obedience. Not perfection, not complete understanding, not flawless execution. Just obedience. Just a decision to act, to trust, to move. That is all it takes to shift everything. Hear this truth. Breakthrough never comes to the ones who wait endlessly. It comes to the ones who act when it costs the most. Midnight is costly because it demands courage when fear is strongest. But that cost is the very key that unlocks what you've been waiting for. God has not forgotten you. He has not abandoned you. He has not been silent. He has been preparing this midnight call for you, arranging everything to bring you to this hour. It is no mistake that you are hearing these words. They are a lifeline, a final call, a trumpet in the silence. Do not ignore it. Act before midnight and watch the world around you shift in ways you once thought were impossible. Chosen one. The clock is pressing harder now. Every second seems heavier than the one before, as if time itself is carrying a weight that only you can feel. Midnight is not a faraway concept anymore. It is breathing down your neck, pulsing in the silence, echoing in the chambers of your soul. And the message still resounds like thunder through the night. Act before midnight. The urgency has not lessened. It has grown stronger, sharper, undeniable. You must understand the gravity of this hour. The choices you make tonight will not fade quietly into the past. They will set in motion ripples that stretch into every corner of your future. What you align with now determines the doors that open tomorrow. What you refuse to face now will rise against you later. Midnight is not just about what you do. It is about what you allow. If you allow fear, fear will reign. If you allow obedience, obedience will open the floodgates of favor. Look at your life. Really look at it. How many nights have you wasted in regret, wishing you had moved when you felt the tug? How many opportunities have slipped through your fingers because hesitation felt safer than risk? That pattern cannot continue. God's voice has broken the silence tonight to end that cycle. This is not another lesson to store away. This is a demand for action. The heavens are watching, the universe is stirring, and your spirit is restless because you know the truth. You cannot afford to delay anymore. Midnight will not bend for you. Midnight does not ask if you're ready. Midnight arrives with power, closes with certainty, and shifts everything it touches. The only question is, will you rise to meet it? Will you act before it seals? Or will you sit in silence while the chance passes into memory? You were chosen because you are meant to decide differently than the crowd. You are meant to move while others freeze, to step forward while others retreat. That is what separates you. That is what confirms you. Chosen one, there is a fire inside you tonight that is not ordinary. That fire is not fear. It is calling. That stirring in your spirit is not anxiety. It is urgency. Heaven has placed within you the courage you need, and all you must do is release it. Do not let the shadows convince you otherwise. Do not let the ticking of the clock paralyze you. Midnight is not against you. It is for you. It is the moment written into your destiny, the hour you were designed to face, the test that unlocks the next chapter. You do not stand here by accident. You stand here because you are ready, even if your mind has not caught up with your spirit yet. Chosen one. The night is trembling with unseen power. The air is thicker now, heavy with anticipation, as if the very atmosphere knows that midnight is moments away. You can almost hear it, the rhythm of the clock, the silent roar of destiny, the whisper of eternity pressing closer. This is not imagination. This is alignment. God has declared it. Act before midnight. And that word is not fading. It is striking harder, echoing deeper, demanding response. The urgency you feel is not pressure designed to crush you. It is pressure designed to birth you. Diamonds are not made without fire. Warriors are not made without battle. And destinies are not sealed without a midnight moment. This is yours. You can't escape it, and you shouldn't want to. Every scar on your soul, every unanswered question, every sleepless night has been building toward this hour. You've been stretched, shaken, and refined because midnight was always waiting for you. And now it has come. Look around at your life. Some things have been breaking down because they cannot follow you across this threshold. Some doors have slammed shut because they were never meant to carry you into tomorrow. You may have mistaken their closing for rejection, but it was protection. Midnight is not about carrying everything forward. It is about leaving behind what cannot survive your calling. That's why it hurts. That's why it feels like loss. But in truth, it is freedom. Midnight is cutting away the unnecessary so that you can step into what is essential. Chosen one, hear this with every part of your being. Hesitation is the thief of your destiny. Do not let it rob you again. You've already lived too many days tied down by fear, silenced by doubt, paralyzed by the opinions of others. Tonight, that cycle must break. Midnight demands action, and only you can give it. No one else can step across this threshold for you. No one else can claim this promise in your place. It is your voice, your choice, your obedience that heaven is waiting for. Every great story has a decisive moment, a single scene where everything changes. This is yours. The stage is set, the lights are dimming, and the next act cannot begin until you move. If you act before midnight, you align yourself with a flow so powerful it will carry you farther than your effort ever could. If you ignore it, you will feel the weight of missed destiny pressing against you with every sunrise. That is why the message is urgent. That is why the command is clear. God said, act before midnight, and His word never comes without reason. The world around you may not understand the weight of this call. They may not feel the trembling in the air like you do. That's because this call is not for them. It is for you. You are the one chosen to hear it. You are the one awakened for this hour. You are the one who stands at the edge of midnight with destiny staring you in the face. Do not look away. Do not shrink back. Do not silence the fire that is rising inside of you. This is your moment, and it will not come again in the same way. Act before midnight, and let your obedience unlock what has been waiting for you all along. Chosen one, the final hour is here. Midnight is not approaching. It is upon you. The night itself trembles. The silence has become deafening, and every second feels like the final beat of a drum before destiny strikes. You can feel it in your chest, that unshakable pull, that burning urgency that refuses to let you rest. This is not a normal moment. This is not another passing night. This is the hour that heaven has marked, the hour that carries your name, the hour that separates what was from what will be. God said you must act before midnight. Urgent, absolute, final. There is no more room for hesitation. You've been prepared for this. Every struggle you thought would break you was shaping you. Every closed door you mourned was saving you. Every silent season where you thought God had forgotten you was, in truth, the hidden crafting of your soul for this exact moment. You were not left behind. You were not abandoned. You were being made ready for the weight of this call. And now the trumpet of midnight sounds, not as a warning of doom, but as a cry of destiny. Heaven is not against you. Heaven is for you. But heaven requires your obedience. Heaven requires your yes. This is the truth you must face. Midnight is not waiting for you. The seal is closing. The line is being drawn. The shift is happening whether you are ready or not. You cannot pause it. You cannot slow it. You cannot negotiate with it. Midnight moves with or without you. And that is why God's voice has thundered into your life with such urgency. Act now, not tomorrow, not later, not someday. Now, before midnight, before the seal is set, before the door locks, before the chance slips into silence. This is your window, and it is closing fast. Think of what lies on the other side, the answers you've prayed for, the breakthrough you've wept for, the release you've begged heaven to send. It is not far away. It is waiting on the other side of obedience. Midnight is the gate. Midnight is the test. Midnight is the measure of whether you will trust enough to act. Do not let fear rob you again. Do not let delay write another chapter of regret. You have carried too much to stop here. You have survived too much to let this slip away. Everything you've endured was building to this moment. Don't waste the pain. Don't waste the preparation. Let it push you through the threshold. Chosen one, listen to the roar of your own spirit. You know this message is not empty. You know it is not coincidence that you are hearing these words tonight. This is the answer you prayed for. This is the sign you asked for. This is the confirmation you begged for. And it is clear. God said you must act before midnight. Heaven has spoken. Your soul has been awakened. The clock has not stopped ticking. The decision is yours. And so here you stand at the edge of midnight. The world sleeps, but heaven watches. The sky is silent, but your heart is thunder. This is the crossing. This is the turning. This is the threshold that only you can step across. Will you rise? Will you obey? Will you act before midnight and watch the heavens open in response? Or will you remain silent, watching as the chance fades into the night? Chosen one, the hour has come. The seal is closing. The moment is now. Act before midnight, because midnight is here.